can't see, there is a pond underneath all this fog. This is the pond I go to catch my monsters. And take a quick look down here before I unload my kayak and show you just how clear this water is. This is why I love fishing in Georgia so much. Most mornings are this foggy and this addictive. It's so magical. As you can see, the water is nice and clear. So I'm gonna get my kayak unloaded, get out there in that mist, and stay tuned. I'm gonna try to catch some bass on video today, but it usually takes two hands manning the kayak and a fishing pole. But and all I got's my blue tank phone for a camera. So tight lines and I'll be back. Here's how I've been catching most of my bass. I paddled up to these buckbrush piles. Like right in here, this is where I caught that really big one last weekend. And I'll cast in there into those holes and pockets with a trick worm and just let it sit for a couple minutes, 10 seconds to a minute or so, and then just slowly start working it back, bouncing off the bottom about 6 inches, and you let it sit a little bit longer. That's usually when I get the good hits. And as you can see, all the way down, I can fish this. And yeah, you are going to get snagged, you are going to break off. I'm running 20-pound Cajun line on my pole, so I usually have to go into the buckbrush and get my little worm. I'm a little cheaper than having to go buy trick worms every week, so I try to save as much of my trick worms as I possibly can. But that's really deadly out here, is trick worms and June bug and black. And I haven't yet even put a pole in the water. This early in the morning, I look for what's going on top of the water, and not much is really going, which tells me after the rain last night they're probably in deep cover, or just on the other side of that buckbrush is a deep channel, about 15 to 20 foot deep. So I'll anchor out over there and run some shad baits, like a jerk bait, flat build, where I can get down into about 10 feet of water, make them bass come up for it, explosive hits. But other than that, I mostly just trick worm it. And as you can see, I'm still using my trusty old feel-free lure, and I've acquired a small water leak. I can be out here all day and maybe get I don't know, less than a quarter cup of water in the bottom of my kayak. So I have a suspicion that my wheel and the keel has a rubber grommet that's probably loosened up or something. Where I dock at is all sandy, so it might have got some sand in there and is letting water come in. No biggie. I won't sink. So see over there, I don't know if you can see that. Let me zoom in. Over on the other side, there's a lot of action on top of the water. So I'm going to probably work my way over there fishing this buckbrush. While I do, just over there is a nice little place that I can kayak 4x over the buckbrush and get into that area, or I can turn all the way back around there and do it. But I'm going to try to get some video of a fish or two that I bring in It's if the good Lord allows it and my hands allow a little free up to turn on the phone and record as I'm trying to reel in. This is going to be quite interesting. But there's going to be some changes to YouTube on my channel. Not to YouTube directly, but basically to my channel. So you that are subscribed, keep an eye out. And I'm sorry for not posting videos as often as I should. It's just I don't have a camera that I can attach to my kayak or on a pole. So until I do, this is how my footage is going to be. A big old bird just over there sitting on the buckbrush. I don't know if you can see him or not. This camera doesn't really take very good clear photo, but it'll do. And there's another bird sitting over there. The camera has a hard time focusing due to the fog. It's like it's foggy, I can't see. But let's go paddle up here and see what we can, if we can check out this bird. Well, the bird took off. He was sitting on that stump over there. But here's another good spot. Cast up in there. Yeah, boy. Let me tell you what. There are some monsters in this pond. As in any pond, but I've seen them. I've had them hooked up. I've actually had a bass right in this area. Straighten out a 4/0 hook. Big bucket mouth. Here's where I was telling you where I can wrap around and go over there to the deep channel. It opens up. I'm going to try fishing this little spot before I go through it. So, stay tuned. See, basically how I'm doing this is I'm just floating right now, and I'll pick my pole up, let the line go slack, wait a little bit, watch the line. That's actually a little too much slack. Trying to record and fish. This is quite interesting. But I'll pick up, give me a good little bit of bow on my line. The reason why I use Cajun line is I can see it in the air right before it's in the water, and I can do that. Getting really close to the buckbrush. There's a nice little hole right there I'm going to try to flip into. So let's see if I hook into one, and we'll try to get him on video. And can't really remember who asked about the leg room in this kayak, but I've got some pretty long legs. I'm pretty much all leg, and I basically fish and paddle just like this, sitting straight up. I have back issues, so leaning back is kind of a pain in the butt for me. As you can see, there is much more room back behind than I will ever need. So I hope that helps. Just a little quick clip to add to the video to help answer a question. The wind's starting to pick up. The fog's starting to go away. I'm over here on the other side of the buckbrush. I'm going to anchor out and fish this little pile behind me. It tends to be productive. So, like I say, stay tuned. Alright, I got a little bass on here. I'm going to put the pole between my legs and reel it in so you guys can see him. He's putting up a pretty good fight. I'm just going to horse him in. Oh, he's got me snagged. Give him a little bit of playroom here. Yeah, he's got me snagged. Well, sorry you had to miss the action, but yeah, this guy had to be snagged up. So, had to release some tension on the line, and he came undone, jumped, and he practically jumped right into the boat. So, we're going to let him go. Try to catch some bigger ones. Good luck, fella. Get bigger. Stay tuned.